What made you say, yep, I'm gonna die? I was driving home from college for Thanksgiving break. My roommate bailed last minute, so I had to make the 6-hour drive alone. Not a big deal. I'd done it before. It was around 10 p.m. when I hit this stretch of highway that cuts through nothing but forests and mountains, no streetlights, barely any other cars. My playlist had just ended when my gas light dinged on. I checked my GPS for the nearest station. It showed one about 8 miles ahead. One of those old mom-and-pop places with just a couple pumps. Better than nothing. When I pulled in, the place looked half abandoned. One flickering light over the pumps. A small convenience store with open, blinking in the window. No other cars around. I got out and started pumping gas, trying not to think about every horror movie that starts exactly like this. That's when I noticed this rusty white van pulling in real slow. It parked by the ice machine facing my car, headlights still on. 2 guys sat in the front just watching me, not getting out, not turning off their engine, just staring. I kept my head down, pretending not to notice, but my heart was racing. I finished pumping, hung up the nozzle, and practically jumped back into my car. I locked the doors immediately. When I tried to start it, nothing, just a clicking sound. You've got to be kidding me, I whispered. My Toyota had never had issues before, not once. I tried again. Click, click, click. I called my dad, trying to keep my voice steady. Car won't start. I'm at this gas station in the middle of nowhere. Try again in a few minutes, he said. Sometimes it's just the cold or a loose connection. He offered to look up towing services, but my phone was down to 12% battery. While waiting, I noticed the van had moved. It was now parked right by the exit, like they were blocking the only way out. The driver's door opened, and one of the men stepped out, tall, heavy-set, wearing a dirty baseball cap. I looked toward the convenience store. It seemed like my only option. I grabbed my phone and keys, took a deep breath, and made a dash for the store entrance. As I hurried across the lot, I heard a voice call out, "Car trouble?" Something in his tone made my skin crawl. I pretended not to hear. I knocked on the store door harder than I meant to. An older man with gray hair looked up from behind the counter, saw me, then glanced at the van. Without hesitation, he rushed to unlock the door. "Get in here, quick," he said, ushering me inside before locking the door again. "Thank you," I managed, trying to catch my breath. He nodded toward the van. "Those 2 been hanging around here the past few nights. Sheriff came by yesterday asking if I'd seen him. Apparently, they matched the description of some men who've been targeting drivers on this stretch." My stomach dropped. "My car won't start." "Phone?" he asked, almost dead. He handed me the store phone to call a tow truck. The dispatcher said they couldn't get anyone out until morning. Great. The old man, Bob, he told me, said, "My son's a deputy. Gets off shift in about 30 minutes. Already texted him what's happening." That made me feel slightly better. I sat on a stool behind the counter while Bob went back to restocking cigarettes. We both kept glancing at the van, still idling by the exit. 20 minutes later, the lights flickered once, twice, then went out completely. The whole station plunged into darkness. "Power lines must have gone," Bob muttered, pulling out a flashlight from under the counter. But the way he said it made me think he didn't believe that at all. We heard glass breaking from the back of the store. Bob grabbed my arm and pulled me down behind the counter. He reached underneath and pulled out a baseball bat, handing it to me. Then he grabbed what looked like a shotgun. "Stay down," he whispered. I was shaking so hard I could barely hold the bat. Footsteps crunched on broken glass. Someone was inside the store. I heard whispering. At least 2 voices. The beam of a flashlight swept across the ceiling above us. I held my breath. Suddenly, bright headlights flooded the front of the store, illuminating everything through the windows. Multiple vehicles were pulling in fast, light bars flashing. One of the men ran past our counter toward the back door. Without thinking, I swung the bat and caught him right in the knee. He went down with a scream. Within seconds, the store was filled with deputies. Bob's son had called for backup on his way over. The detective who took my statement told me they'd been tracking these men for weeks. They're wanted for 3 murders and multiple assaults along this interstate, he explained. They target young drivers, especially women traveling alone. I still can't drive alone at night, and I always keep my tank above half full now.